Hi, my name is Ilma, and today we are going to present our group discussion for week 11, and we are from group 6 of Accounting Information System. So, first things first, before we start the presentation, I am going to introduce you to my team members. So, the first one, we have me, of course, Azalia and Irfani. Then we have our friend Jocelyn Iris Lim and my other friend Nadine Dion. So, today I am going to identify and explain the expenditure cycle activity for a hospital. So, the cycle is covered. We have budgeting, purchasing, receiving, accounts payable, and last but not least, disbursements. So, let's get to the description. So, basically, a hospital's expenditure cycle consists of several tasks intended to guarantee the effective use of financial resources to support the delivery of healthcare services. The primary tasks of a hospital's expenditure cycles include the first one, budgeting. So basically, budgeting is the preparation of a budget details and the anticipated costs and income for the future year, and it is the first step in the expenditure cycle. The cost of salaries, medical supplies, equipment, maintenance, and other expenses must be estimated. Second one, we have purchasing. After the budget has been established, the hospital may start making the purchases necessary to offer healthcare services. The typical steps in the purchasing process are determining the need for a certain item, choosing a vendor, settling on a price and other terms, and placing an order. So the next we have receiving. The hospital must get the ordered products and services following the placement of the purchase order. This entails making sure the products and services are of the required caliber and that they fit the purchase order. Next up, we have accounts payable. After all that, the hospital must reimburse the suppliers for the products and services they have provided. This entails confirming that the goods and services were delivered as promised and that the vendor's invoice matches the purchase order. Next one, we have disbursements. The hospital may finally disburse monies to cover the costs incurred throughout the spending cycle. This entails writing checks or making electronic payments to suppliers, staff members, and other interested parties. So, in here we have the diagram that explains the hospital's expenditure cycle. The first we have budgeting, second purchasing and receiving, and accounts payable and disbursements. So basically what this expenditure cycle means is that they are going on to from one to another and they are going to basically start over again.
Okay, next I'm going to explain the threats that may arise from every activity in the cycle that Ilma already mentioned. Okay, I'm going to only point to threads in every activity to shorten up the time. So first activity is budgeting. The threats are inaccurate budgeting might result in excessive or insufficient spending and also non-operating revenues. These could be resulted in financial hardship and disruption in healthcare service may follow from this. And next is the purchasing activity, where there could be threats of purchasing from unauthorized suppliers and also purchasing items that not needed. This includes suppliers who offers inferior products or service, inflate pricing, or submitting a false invoice. Next, there is the receiving activities. The threats are they are receiving incorrect damage or defective goods or service. And this could be also delay in receiving goods or service. This delays in patient care also and increased expenditure and possibly patient injury can all come from this. Another threat in the other activities like account payable, they could be fraudulent payments or invoice and mistake in posting to account payable. This covers suppliers who overbill, submit bills with inflated price, or provide invoice for products or service that were never delivered. And next is this disbursement, where the threats could be the possibility of unauthorized or fraudulent payment and duplicate payment. This involve employees embezzling money, paying unauthorized vendors, or processing payment without the necessary authorities.
Okay, so how to control these threats? The first one, we could control budgeting by implement thorough budgeting and controls on spending while creating a budget. Second one, we could regularly examine and modify the budget. The third one is to effectively predict expenses, use financial forecasting tools, and then we can put it in a place methods for monitoring spending to spot inconsistencies early. The second one, we could control purchasing by establish a centralized system for purchasing with stringent criteria for vendor evaluation. And then we could thoroughly investigate potential vendors, including running background checks. And then we could use competitive bidding procedures to guarantee reasonable pricing. And then we can keep thorough records of all purchases and supplier agreements. The third one, we could control receiving by implement a thorough quality assurance program for incoming goods and services while receiving. And then we could perform inspections right away to find any problems or flaws. And then we could create explicit procedures for recording and reporting problems with received goods. And then we could make sure that receiving and the appropriate departments are in constant communication. And then how we could control the accounts payable is by establish a stringent process for reviewing and approving invoices, and then verify the legality and correctness of vendor invoices regularly, implement division of duties to keep the approval of invoices and the authorization of payments apart, and then keep accurate records and evidence of all payments. The last one, we could control disbursement by implement stringent internal controls and payment authorization procedures for disbursement, and then check and balance records of payments regularly for errors. We could conduct routine audits to find fraudulent or unlawful payments. And lastly, we could create safe online payment platforms with rigorous access restrictions. Okay, so that is all for our presentation. Thank you, sir and friends, for watching the video to this ending. Thank you.